Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's November 16, 2020, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. markets continue to strengthen and point sharply higher this morning. But first, looking at the economic calendar of the day, nothing scheduled for today. But as the week moves on, we will get some economic events coming up. Looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, nothing doing, okay? The dollar pretty much unchanged versus the major pairs, but the South African rand looks to get stronger versus the USD. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Now, looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq both point sharply higher this morning, but will this continue? We're going to take a look at that as well. Now, looking at the commodities, gold rallies to resistance and then tapers off, while pretty much oil is unchanged. And looking at the stocks, the FANG stocks are beginning to firm up and look like they're getting stronger across the board. We're going to take a look at the individual stocks as well. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, pushing higher once again to 16,000 Bitcoins per dollar. Amazing. Okay, but first, let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to first take a look at a daily chart of the Euro USD. And as you know, when the Dow Jones goes up, the dollar gets weaker, okay? But that's not happening right here. And I would expect the dollar to actually sell off here versus the euro, okay? So there may be a breakout right here on the upside, okay? If we don't get that rotation, we don't get a sell-off in the Dow Jones, I do believe that the euro will rally versus the dollar and break this upper limit. Now, looking at some of the other major Forex symbols, okay, nothing really doing with the GBP USD. As you could see, it rallied back, okay? The dollar getting weaker versus the GBP, okay? Completely understandable as the Dow Jones is firming up. Now, jumping into the South African rand, look at that. We had that bounce to 1565-ish level. We didn't even get to that 1580-ish level, which would have been a midpoint between our break down, okay, from our 15-ish, 16-ish level, and we didn't get that. So we're actually right here flirting with our support line. If we look at a daily chart, right there, 1540 is that spot. We're trading at 1545 right now. So if we do break this, and we do break it with some momentum, we could certainly see it back in that 1425-ish level, which would be good news for the South African market. Okay, now jumping into gold, we're hitting that resistance-ish level, 1896, and just trading below it. Okay, now this is a bona fide upwards trend, but you see that it's exhausting itself up here at this upper limit. So just be aware of that, okay? If it does break the 13-day, 14-day moving average right here, then we will see it trade back down to 1885. Not a slam dunk kind of trade, but something to keep an eye on, okay? Because the real slam dunk is looking at the Dow Jones and the U.S. stocks. Looking at that Dow Jones, 29,600-ish level. From last week to this week, we broke out, okay? This used as a support level. 29,000 was a support-ish level, as you can see. As we retrace back to it, previous resistance, didn't break it, okay, held that line, and then we're now trading at 29,700-ish level right now. So that's over 700 points in less than a week, okay? So really a great trade if you did partake in that. Now, if we do break that 29,900-ish level, we could test that 30,000 once again, okay? Got to see some follow through here, which we're getting, okay? When we're looking at the individual stocks, both the high-tech stocks and the old school stocks, that you guys know that I refer to the old school stocks, which are the banks, which are some of the type of companies that are the, type of economies of back in the day. I'm talking about industries, I'm talking about something like Alcoa, and they're both going up, okay? They're both expanding. So this is a good sign for the markets. Now, looking at the Nasdaq this morning, we had this gap up this morning, and we're trading above 12,000, which is really a very monumental area for us to trade. Now, looking at the individual stocks, Apple traded higher last Friday to 117, Facebook as well traded higher, okay, above that 273-ish resistance-ish level, okay. Microsoft as well, trading above that 215-ish level. But we've got to see follow-through. We've got to see it go up to 219 and have that follow-through for this to be a bona fide buy. Now, looking at Alcoa, which is a New York Stock Exchange stock, it's trading right above its resistance level, okay, 1650. But like I said, it's got to continue. It's got to follow through And if it does break above that 17, we could see it back in the $21 range. Okay, remember, in between Thanksgiving and New Year's, okay, the markets generally rally. Okay, historically they do rally. Now this year is not indicative of that because we are still in a pandemic. US is going through a major second wave of the pandemic. Speaking to friends yesterday, they're talking about a massive lockdown in several major cities around the states. So that's sure to affect the markets as well. Now looking at Amazon as well, trading a little bit higher. Now this is a high-tech stock above that $3100-ish range as well. Now, lastly, looking at JP Morgan, going back to a old school kind of stock, 114. So it's steady and it's strong, okay? This rally and dump did not happen, okay? What we expected last week was this massive surge higher after the elections and then a correctional move, but we didn't get that. So that means the markets could potentially go even higher. Okay, so just keep in mind as that continues throughout the week. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, this thing is a monster. Look at it, 16,100-ish level. We hit a high of 16,429. Now, at these levels, when we look at a weekly chart, we are at that second resistance-ish level. Okay, right here is that second resistance level. When we did hit 20,000 in 2017, we sold off sharply and we bounced. We bounced to 16,200-ish level, which we are flirting with right now. So if this does not break higher, I do expect a little bit of a retracement. And how far could we retrace back? Somewhere in the 14,000-ish level, okay, respectively. So just keep that in mind. If that does not break above it, we may see a sell-off here as well. So lots of things happening in the markets. The markets are roaring, okay? Lots of opportunities. So just be smart, play it safe, and take your stop losses at a minimum, okay? The probabilities on the upside are much better than the probabilities on the downside. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.